One.
And good morning, everyone. Dave Garner with you right here as we welcome you to the instant replay right here on FYNTV.com. Thank you for joining us again on this Monday. If you are watching on May the 7th, you indeed are watching live. We do understand, of course, this program is played throughout the week, though. So if you're watching on any other day, you're probably watching an encore replay of the program. But nonetheless, still very much current information right here on North Georgia's only weekly online sports talk show, and we thank you for being with us. I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys are too, and I'm actually wearing a Berry College football polo. Folks that know me know that I'm very connected to that program, but a couple different reasons why I'm wearing the shirt. One is because I only have so many polo shirts. I don't have a closet full of them. I know what a lot of you think.
I don't believe that at all.
I'm a diva. I'm a little bit of a Devo, I guess. Amanda, does your husband, does he have a lot of polo? Does he wear the same thing to work a lot, or does he have a big closet full?
No. But I know that you do.
How do you know that? Have you been stalking me again? Oh my goodness.
Luther's in here laughing with me.
I do have let me tell you, I'm a guy that likes shoes. Now, tennis shoes. I mean, I've got a closet full of tennis shoes. My tennis shoe game's strong. I'm just going to go ahead and say I got a lot of shoes, a lot of different kinds of clothes, but that's just stemming from years in the business. You know, I got suits. I got a variety. But make no mistake, I'm a t-shirt and flip-flop kind of guy, especially this time of year with the weather being as nice as it is. So one of the reasons anyway, getting back to why I'm wearing this shirt, is because, again, I don't want to wear the same shirts in here every week. All right, but the other thing is I'm excited about football season, all right? And I know we're still a ways away from football season. However, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, especially here in the first segment, is going to be spring football practice. And we're going to begin a discussion here on this week's show, and it's going to be called Highway 515 Most Memorable Football Moments. Now, Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports probably has something to say about that as well, because he officiated for many years, and I'm sure he's been around a lot of these teams and seen some of these great moments that folks are going to talk about, but we want to encourage that discussion, and we'll do that a little bit later on in the show. Also, we're going to touch on some regional information and some national news. The Atlanta Hawks coaching search continues, and they've supposedly narrowed it down to 4 candidates. All 4 are assistant coaches right now in the NBA whose teams are in the playoffs. So again, GM Travis Schlenk, who of course spent time in the Golden State operation back in 2010, 2011. He and owner Tony Ressler are interviewing candidates this week. I believe they interviewed one last week, so we'll know a little bit more about that hopefully by the end of this week or next week as far as who the next Hawks coach will be. But make no mistake, if it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it. That's right. And our focus is high school sports, and we got a lot of high school sports to talk about, especially in the first couple segments of today's program. So lock in for the next hour because we are glad to bring it all to you. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about here on the program today. Spring football. Let's start with that, because today many schools around North Georgia are officially kicking off spring football practice. And Dawson County is one of those teams. Now, the Tigers have set their preseason scrimmage, if you will. You know, I guess it was a week or two back whenever Luther and I talked and had Luther out here. One thing that he talked about was that the GHSA now is allowing teams, even in the spring, instead of just having a spring scrimmage, an inter-squad scrimmage, allowing teams to go out and play other schools during spring football practice as their spring game. And so with that being said, Dawson County will travel just west to play Pickens on May the 18th for this year's spring game. Now, that is next Friday. All right, so again, spring practice is only about 2 weeks, 10 days. So again, next Friday, May 18th, we're going to have a slew of spring games going on, and Team FYN Sports will be all over it for you as we bring you results and highlights and all that sort of stuff. But next Friday, Pickens and Dawson. And the unique thing, I guess, the significant thing about this particular game, and other teams, other schools around the area will be playing spring games too, probably that same night or maybe a night before. Some go on Thursday, but the new Dragon turf the new field, the new surface, the video board, all that stuff that we talked about last week with head coach Chris Parker and athletic director, of course, at Pickens, Chris Parker. We talked about the video board being installed. We talked about the turf going in. So as of right now, the goal was to have all this done by graduation, but if nothing else, the spring football game next Friday, the 18th, featuring the Dragons and the Tigers of Dawson County, should be played on the new turf. Now, obviously, if that's not completed for some crazy reason, then that game would probably be moved. But looking at the forecast this morning, folks, throughout the week, we're going to have a lot of sunshine this week, and that is the good news. So hopefully we're going to be able to get all that stuff done down in Jasper. Meanwhile, the Fannin County Rebels will also be in action next week. On that same night, they are going to be playing Cass out of Bartow County, out of White, Georgia. 5A Cass is going to head to Blue Ridge to take on the Fannin County Rebels, so that'll be a good one. Now, we're talking about the spring games already. Between now and then, especially with our next show, we're going to have updates as far as what's going on, because as we've talked about, we've had some coaching changes throughout the area. One of those being in Fannin County, where Coach Chad Cheatham is the new head football coach of the Rebels, and we're very excited to have Coach Cheatham in our area. And, of course, he replaces Coach Pavo, who spent several years, of course, at the helm for the Fannin County Rebels. Fannin County just did not achieve the results really that they've wanted over the last several years. So in comes Coach Chad Cheatham, who of course is a native of Blue Ridge, and we're very excited to have him. Now, earlier in the week, again, we were able to get in touch with Coach Cheatham and our very own Luther Kinsey, sitting down right now with Coach Cheatham in Fannin County. And let's go ahead and check in right now with that interview as Luther standing by with Coach.
Made the mistake the other day of talking as soon as I sat down, and it caught me and sat down, so I'm going to hesitate a second and get it. They can edit it. All right. Good afternoon, or good morning. I'm Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports. I'm here with Coach Chad Cheatham, new football coach, Fannin County High School.
Glad you're here.
Thank you for sitting down with us.
No problem.
So give me a little history on where you've been before here.
Oh, you know, I just left Banks a couple of days ago. Finally got up here for officially Friday, so it's been kind of hectic. I was at Banks, and then before that was at Jefferson, and was over at Oglethorpe for a while. Was at Raven for 8 years, and kind of started it when I was at the University of Georgia in the early 90s, and was doing some late coaching with Clark Central with Billy Henderson there. So it's been kind of a long time. Graduated from here in '91, and 27 years. It's good to be home, man. It's exciting, really exciting.
And do you work with Coach Shaw?
I did work with
Excuse me, Coach Shaw at Raven County?
I did. Lee and I coached together. We were assistants at Raven. He came from White. He was the head coach. We coached against each other. Then he came over, and we coached secondary together, and we coached some offense together. Sonny Smart was the head coach there. So Lee's a very good friend of mine. He's a great man, and somebody I really look up to. And I send him texts and talk to him all the time. I had the opportunity to coach against him the past couple of years at Bank. So it's just, yeah, he's a good man. He's a good one, good friend.
Yeah, so I tell you, he did good for the program at Flowery Branch.
Absolutely.
And now when he made it to Raven as the head coach, he is an amazing man.
And a lot of the things that he talks about, brotherhood concepts and things like that. I get a lot of my stuff from him. I've still it from Lee and some other guys that I've coached with, obviously Sonny and some of the other guys, Navis and T. McFerrin and those guys. So
well, success follows success. So yeah. That's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
And we spoke before, briefly. We talked about your philosophy in coming up here to Fannin County, and one question that I had for you off camera was, of course, the number of students that Fannin County has playing football, and how you would reach out to other students that may want the opportunity. Just was either too scared or didn't know how to go about it.
Well, we've since I was hired, I've had the opportunity to be up here a couple of days in the spring, and then through spring break a couple of days, and get my coaching staff almost intact. I've been able to walk the halls, and there's a lot of excitement right now. So going into the spring, we're right at 85, and that's a big number for us. And so we're hoping that momentum continues into tomorrow, and we start practice at 3:40, and that excitement and the good, I love kids. I love to get in the hallways and in the weight room and the gym with them and just interact, get to know them, and those type of things. Building those relationships, I think, just brings kids to the program who might have been hesitant before. That, hey, this guy cares about me. He cares not just about my football ability or baseball or basketball, but he actually really wants to get involved in my life and cares about me. So we're trying, all of us as coaches here, we're trying to do that, be seen as much as possible from the bottom, from the youngest kid in our program to the rec level, to the top senior. We're trying to get involved in their lives, and we're trying to do things the right way, not just from a football standpoint, but a total program. And it's exciting to see some new faces.
So have you got your coaching staff all settled in?
We're close. We're close. We're missing 2 pieces, so I've got to make two more hires. It's really going to solidify. Our core is real good. We got about 6 guys that are extremely just great men, great coaches. They're excited. The kids love them, and I think that's important. And I hired one of the hires I made was Chris Thigpen from the middle school, who'd been with these kids for a long time. And if you know anything about Chris, he's going to be in our weight room. He's such a great man, and he's young and brings a lot of energy. And that's kind of what we're focusing on right now, is just energy, body language, excitement, fun. Because it's not always easy to play this game. So we understand that. So Chris brings that to the table. That he knows the kids. He's been with them from the time they were 6th grade up to this point, and he's a great football mind. And to me, it was kind of a no-brainer. And then got Adam Turner as our defense coordinator. Adam's from South Georgia. He played at Hawkinsville, and he's doing a great job getting our defensive staff ready. Unfortunately, we're a little short on the defensive side right now, so me and Adam are kind of tag teaming it, and we'll see how it goes in the spring. We've got a lot of bodies and a few coaches that are missing, so it's going to be interesting going back and forth, but it's going to be fun.
Well, putting a team on the field sounds easy.
That's right.
But, you got guys out there that have that attack mentality.
Sure.
And they want the ball.
Exactly.
So it's, I wish you the best of luck in finding guys that want to, are more your warrior side, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
I probably should say rebel.
Right.
If they want to go against the grain, they want to be, kind of that rebellion. That's the way I look at defense. I look at defense, it's like, you know what? You run the ball. I'm going to stop.
That's right. Run. Let's see what you can do.
I don't fit into your mold.
I'm going to make you flinch. And I think that's going to be kind of our philosophy. Is attack mode. We're going to bring 4-man, 5-man pressure. We'll play a lot of base stuff, but we're going to try to make them flinch on defense. We're going to run the football. We're going to get off blocks. We're going to be excited. Get 11 hats there. We're going to be great pursuers. And that's one of the things in the spring coming up. We want to see how physical we can be, and obviously we don't want any type of meat grinder or anything like that where we're getting kids hurt. But we want to see physically who's going to be that guy, who's going to be that attack mode type player, and as we set forward to put this defense together.
Good deal. All right, well, we'll talk more later on, and I'll have another in the second segment. We'll be back with Coach Cheatham. Dave, back to you.
And that was Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports, who, by the way, I just confirmed, all right, that he has a whole lot more polos than I do. I can assure you that. At one point, and now this is from Luther himself, he had 365, one for every day of the year in his closet.
You do not.
I have maybe a dozen. Wow. And I wear them for different things. No, and now he's down to 60 from what I understand. So he slimmed the wardrobe a little bit, and that's a good thing, because I'm not sure I know anyone that needs 365. But he plays a lot of golf, and so you can't wear the same thing on the golf course.
Well, I've got a lot of family that went to Barry, and I want to compliment your polo. I really like it today.
Well, I appreciate that. I do what I can. Anyway, we will hear from Luther and Coach Cheatham in our next segment. We'll have more of that interview coming up for you here after the break. But first, we are up against our first break right here on the Instant Replay. Stay with us. More from Coach Cheatham, and we'll take a look at our Taking It to the Next Level segment. Several Bobcat athletes signing the dotted line last week week. All that and more straight ahead. Stay with us.
Life is filled with moments, some monumental, some mere seconds. Moments we often take for granted as we worry and anticipate all the moments to come. At Woodman Life, we help ease that worry with our affordable insurance and retirement products. We work to protect financial security, community pride, patriotism, and peace of mind so that you can protect the moments that matter most.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And welcome back to the Instant Replay. Once again, Dave Garner with you right here. We do want to remind folks, if you have information you'd like to feed us right here on the program, please feel free to do that. You can call us at 706-889-9700, or you can always email us at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Again, teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Now, a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the changing of the guard, if you will, and we're going to continue our discussion about memorable Highway 515 football moments, and we'll do that depending on time. But right now, we have some breaking news right here on the Instant Replay to share with you. Our very own Luther Kinsey is with us on the other side of the glass this morning, and he's got some news coming out of Fannin County. Luther, what you got for us?
Well, our sources are telling us that Coach Ayers, varsity head baseball coach, will be leaving. And from what I'm understanding, that is already official. And Travis Jones, longtime assistant coach, has agreed to take the reins. Like I said, our sources are telling that. Still have to be approved by the board. We'll be all over it to confirm that once that's completed. Just wanted to bring that up to you and get that out to everyone and let them know. Coach Ayers is a great coach, led a great program. Just really hate to see him go.
Absolutely. Coach Ayers, again, has done a great job in Fannin County, so it is being reported that Coach Ayers may very well be out in Fannin County, maybe moving on, maybe retiring. We don't want to speculate, but we do know that according to that information we have received, that does look like Coach Ayers may not be in that position next year, and it looks like Coach Travis Jones, I believe, is the name that we have there. So thanks, Luther, for bringing that to our attention, and we will, again, follow that up for you next week right here on the Instant Replay. And you can also check out FetcherNews.com, of course, to check out all of the latest as well, and be sure to check out our Facebook page, and we will have some information on there with you. Speaking of Luther, he'll be back here in a few minutes. We will have the second half of that interview with Coach Chad Cheatham, the new head football coach in Fannin County. We'll have that for you there in just a moment. Right now, it's time for our Taking It to the Next Level segment. This is one of my favorite, because when you've been doing this long enough and you see a group of, say, elementary school kids come all the way through middle school, all the way through high school, graduate, go on to college, it's very rewarding. And we have been very blessed this spring season to have so many local area athletes sign their college intentions, both academically and athletically, to the next level, hence the name of this segment. Now, again, as we get into summer, as we get into certain times of the year, this will not be a regular segment, but right now, we are going to milk it for all it's worth, because as long as we got folks signing, this is a time right now where a lot of athletes, a lot of student athletes are doing that sort of thing, and it was a very busy week last week in Gilmer County for several Bobcats. They had 6 student athletes sign their name on the dotted line, and we'll go ahead and run down. Marie Goswick for softball is the first signed to Andrew College in Randolph County here in Georgia. What a career for Goswick as she now extends her career to the next level as an Andrew College Tiger. And Andrew College, for those who don't know, is the 9th oldest college in Georgia. So again, a lot of history, a lot of tradition. We want to congratulate Marie Goswick, who is headed to the next level on a softball scholarship. We certainly applaud Marie. What a career, and we're certainly going to miss her in LJ, no doubt about that. How about Grace Henderson, who becomes the first ever college soccer signee from Gilmer County? She is headed to play for Oglethorpe, a D3 school out of Atlanta. A lot of folks know, of course, about the Stormy Petrels of Oglethorpe University, and Grace is going to study biopsychology, so she's a very smart young lady, as we all know, and very honored to have Grace Henderson as the first ever Gilmer High School soccer signee joining the group last week there of folks who signed. Congratulations to Grace. She's going to be a great addition at the next level. Aubrey Cagle also headed to the next level. Track and field, pole vault. She's ranked 5th in the state. And folks, she is signed with the University of North Georgia, whose program continues to improve, continues to grow each and every year. And I said it on the show a couple weeks ago. I think it's only a matter of time before they start playing football up there in Dahlonega. But Aubrey Cagle is going to be a nice addition to the track and field program. She's going to study political science and possibly transfer to UGA after maybe spending a year or two at North Georgia. So congratulations to Aubrey. We also have Carolina Teague headed in track as well. She's headed to Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi, a member of the Southern Athletic Association there in D3. And again, we're very honored to have Carolina crowned region champion in the 200, 400, and 4x400 meter. She has been a consistent long jump of around 15 feet as well. Great athlete. We are certainly going to miss Teague, but she is headed to the next level. And our goal is to follow all of these student athletes as they progress through their college careers as well. We're not going to forget about them once they hit the doors at graduation to high school. We're going to continue to follow them as much as we can into the next level. How about Brandon Weaver? Also, track and field. I tell you what, Coach Snyder had a stock covered this year of track and field athletes in Gilmer County. Brandon is headed to Cincinnati Christian University in Ohio, NAIA school. I think Reinhardt plays those guys a little bit. So, again, Cincinnati Christian, they are the Eagles. They're in the River States Conference, and Brandon Weaver is headed to Ohio to continue his athletic and academic career at the next level in track and field. And how about our final one from Gilmer County? Evan Minter is headed to Bethel University in St. Paul, Minnesota on a swimming scholarship. Now, when you think about swimming, you think about Minnesota. Let's hope they have some indoor facilities. No, I know they do, but Evan's going to be a great addition to the pool for Bethel, and Bethel has a good, strong tradition, especially in swimming, so he's going to be a great addition there. He was instrumental in the Bobcats qualifying for state this past year. He's basically led the team the last 4 years, reaching the finals in the state meet, and this past season held at Georgia Tech. So again, congratulations to Marie, Grace, Aubrey, Carolina, Brandon, and Evan from Gilmer County, all headed to the next level, and we're looking forward to seeing their progress as they continue to develop. Also, Fannin County, yes, it is official. As we promised last week, Jack Gobble is headed to Cleveland State on a baseball scholarship. And we congratulate Jack. He has had an excellent career at Fannin County. I know his folks pretty well, and they're great people. He comes from a great family, and so he's going to make a great Cleveland State Cougar, no doubt about it. Just to share a couple stats about Jack. 2016, that was a sophomore year. He hit right around 263 slugging average. Last year as a junior, 345 slugging average, 276 batting average, and this past year 341 batting average, had 11 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, and he also, as a catcher, 980 fielding percentage, .98. That's almost perfect, as we know, if you're counting out there, if you know anything about math, which I don't know much about math, but even I know that. And he threw out about half the runners trying to steal on him. 50% is pretty good, so no doubt about it. John Ayers, as we just reported, again, maybe stepping down as the Fannin County coach, but he said that he would not be surprised to see Gobble playing for a major D1 school in another year or two. But for right now, he is going to cut his teeth at Cleveland State University in Tennessee, their junior college in Tennessee. And we're excited for Jack and all of our local area signees. And I have a feeling we're probably going to have some more in the next week or two. So keep it right here on the Instant Replay as we continue to bring it to you at Taking It to the Next Level. All right, time now for the second half of that interview with our Team FYN Sports guy, Luther Kinsey, who sat down with Chad Cheatham, the new head football coach in Fannin County. Here's the second half of that interview.
We're back with Coach Chad Cheatham, Fannin County High School. It's Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports. Coach, again, thank you for sitting down with us.
Yes, sir. Enjoy it.
We talked in the first segment a little bit about spring practice. Said you had 85.
We're right at 85, yeah.
And you were going to put out some, not too physical, but try to check their physicality this week.
We're going to go do some one-on-ones. We're going to do some more Oklahoma, early, and just to see who's willing to stick their nose in there and put a body, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, we don't want to get anybody hurt, but we do want to see who moves some bodies and be physical, and who's willing to put a hat on somebody.
So who are you, I guess, ending your spring practice with for your spring game this year?
We have the great privilege of having Cass come here. They're a 5A school, and it's going to be a challenge for us, but that's okay. We'll control it. And I'm sure that he feels the same way. Obviously, we don't want to get anybody injured going into the summer. And it'll be a good chance for us to see, everybody play, get everybody on field, get everybody on film, watch technique, and we'll script the scrimmage out so that, we have certain kids on the field at certain times in certain situations almost like a glorified practice type deal where maybe we're working on inside run game and he knows we're working on inside run game, and then they flip over and they're working on their inside run game. Then we may go a screen period, and then we may go goal line and things like that. So it'll be scripted, and then we'll get all our JV guys in and get them on film, and it gives us a good opportunity and a good tool to really kick the summer off, see where we need to be, where we're at, number one, which is going to be early. And with transition and different terminologies the kids are learning, so it's going to be early, but it'll give us a good idea of where we're at, and obviously a good idea of where we need to be going into that first game against Gilmer and that first scrimmage against Kahula Creek.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm super glad that Georgia High School decided to put it into the rules that you could actually play another team in your spring game. Because in my experience, officiating for 18 years, the players seem to hit harder when they don't know them. So you get to see a real definition of what they are or what you need to work on.
And by that time of the spring, after 9 days of hitting one another, they're really ready to see another body and hit another body. And it is a challenge, and I agree with you. I like the idea of the spring game. Way back when, of course, when we played, it used to be seemed like spring was like a month long, and you played that game at the end. Obviously, we got 10 days, and 9 of them is to prepare. I don't foresee us working on Cass very much. I see us just working on us. We'll probably know their base offense and defensive schemes. He and I'll talk, and we'll know if we're going to block an odd front or an even front, and then offensively, if we're looking at the eye or the spread or those type of things, so we can semi-prepare. But we're not going to focus on any of that stuff this week. We're going to focus on us and getting better and being excited, flying around, and just having a good time.
Well, it's going to take more than 10 days for you to get used to them and for them to get used to you.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a good period for that family to grow together.
Sure. And that's the thing that we are really starting to focus, is bringing this family together and bringing the brotherhood into it, like we talked about earlier, and creating an atmosphere not only amongst our players but our coaches, our coaching staff, bringing those guys together and giving them a voice and letting them coach. These are great coaches and great men, and I like to let them do their job, and I'm not going to micromanage them. They know what they're doing, some of them much better than I do. So it's a great opportunity for our coaching staff and for our kids really to develop a relationship. And once we develop that relationship, as you know, you bond, and then when things get tough, it seems like it just grows you more and more and more. And we know tough times are coming, so it's a great opportunity for us to come together as a team.
Well, how many seniors do you have on the?
We have 12 on roster, which is a smaller senior class. Good kids, been in the program, for 4 years. So we're looking forward to really trying to build around those seniors and create a leadership role with them. But obviously, we know that leadership roles come at all ages and from all different levels and from all different people. It's going to be interesting to see these next 2 weeks who really steps up in that leadership role and starts to pull people together, and there's always those 2 or 3 that you really go to and the kids kind of cling to. So I'm looking forward to finding that out also and seeing who's going to step up in that role.
Well, you mentioned just a few minutes ago the scrimmage game with Kahula and first game, against Gilmer.
Sure.
How does the rest of the schedule look? I mean, when in my looking at it, you've got the new school,
right? Cherokee Bluff. We got that's we really don't know. I know their head coach is from I think he came from Nakula. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but I know he's been doing it a long time, and he's a very good coach. And I know their defense coordinator, Tyrus Dixon, who was at Habersham, is a great coach. Got a chance to coach with him at Raiden. So really, that's a question mark. There's no film. There's no way to look at them. I've gone back on Huddle over the past month and so, and I've looked at our common opponents that we played the past 2 years, or we're playing again, and it's a tough region. When you GAC and Dawson and Lumpkin and guys like that, East Hall that are very physical and big and tough, and it's not going to be easy. We feel like we can be successful. It's just going to be one of those deals where we got to stay healthy, and we got to make sure that we got all our personnel where they need to be in the right spots, and that we coach them according to our plans and scripts and all that kind of stuff. And then, the kids got to play. So we look forward to the region play, but we know that it's a ways away. We got a summer to prepare, and we're going to focus on us for a while.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you being with us today.
And I appreciate you coming.
And if you need anything from Team FYN Sports, we're glad to be here and talk to you anytime. And
Same here. My door's always open. You guys are welcome anytime. Practice, whatever y'all need.
We'll definitely be talking to you throughout the season.
I appreciate you, man.
Dave Garner, back to you, sir.
All right, thanks, Luther. Again, Luther Kinsey, our Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports, sitting down with Coach Chad Cheatham of Fannin County, the new head football coach in Blue Ridge. And Coach looking for some good things to come out of spring football practice. Again, their spring game next Friday, the 18th, at home against the Cass Colonels, and it should be a good one. We're going to go ahead and take another time out. When we return, we're going to continue that 5:15 discussion, and we will work our way into some regional sports. A big weekend and a big week ahead for the Atlanta United. All that much more straight ahead.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Here's to 60 years of Pizza Hut, to original pan, to stuffed crust, and to the best of both. The new double cheesy crust pan pizza with stuffed crust cheese baked just inside the golden edge of original pan. Here for a limited time. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Life is filled with moments, some monumental, some mere seconds. Moments we often take for granted as we worry and anticipate all the moments to come. At Woodman Life, we help ease that worry with our affordable insurance and retirement products. We work to protect financial security, community pride, patriotism, and peace of mind so that you can protect the moments that matter most.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. I'm your host, Dave Garner. Again, we are promoting and highlighting student athletes in a positive way, and we did that really in the last segment with our Taking It to the Next Level segment. And just congratulations once again to all of our local area signees who indeed are taking their talents to the next level, and we're very excited about that. I also want to thank Coach Chad Cheatham for coming on with us here today, sitting down with our very own Team FYN Sports guy, Luther Kinsey, and we're excited to be able to have our coaches on. And next week, it looks like we're going to have Adam Williams on, is the head coach of the Pickens Dragons baseball team. Of course, those guys going to state this year, and Coach Williams' first year at the helm. And so we'll have more from Coach Williams and the Dragons for you on next week's Instant Replay. Right now, though, want to kind of continue our topic here real quick. And we're going to do this really probably throughout the summer leading up to football. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it today, but I want you guys to be thinking about your most memorable Highway 515 football moments. Now, when you think about Highway 515, or when we think about it around here being in Ellijay, Jasper, Blue Ridge, traditionally, we think about those schools. But again, our area is open really to most all of North Georgia, Dawson County, White County, Murphy, North Carolina. So I don't want to limit this to just a Gilmer Pickens fan and discussion. We want to hear from you guys, your favorite moments, the things that stick out to you, all the way over even in Rabun County. I know that's a little bit outside of what we're talking about, but those guys, of course, went to a state championship this past year. So a lot of great moments. And when it comes to mountain schools, there's not always a lot of state championship history and tradition, but there have been a lot of rivalries that have lasted a long time. I know with, Gilmer and Pickens, for example, that spanned over 50 years. Fannin, you had West Fannin, East Fannin at one point, so it hasn't always been Fannin County High School, but those rivalries have lasted forever when you talk about Fannin and Gilmer. And speaking of, for me personally, I was first introduced to a Highway 515 rivalry back in 2002 when it was Gilmer and Fannin playing in that opening game. And I remember it was we had Coach Thompson at Gilmer back then. And I remember the amount of people. I had called ball in Cherokee County and Forsyth County, big schools, big areas. I don't think I've ever seen as many people at a high school football game as I did that first game that I called in 2002, that Gilmer Fannin game. It came down to the very end. It was a tight ball game, but what a great moment. I know Luther Kinsey, he's behind the glass here today with us as well. You've officiated, so I know you've seen a lot of high school football and basketball and other sports over the years. Is there one, and like I said, we're going to continue this discussion, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we got other things to cover in the last 10, 12 minutes. But is there one moment just off the top of your head that sticks out to you from a game that maybe you were a part of, or maybe not even anything you officiated, maybe just something you witnessed?
Area linear football official, so we kind of covered the Union County, the Gainesville High School, that area, kind of northeast.
Right.
Two, probably the most memorable moments for me is one, Deshaun Watson, University of Clemson.
Oh, absolutely,
and
yeah.
went on, of course, he's injured this past season, his knee, and wasn't able to play.
Right.
But the most memorable moment was probably a combined years of officiating him as quarterback from middle school all through high school, and then watching him go into college, of course, win the national championship and that. And a name that probably a lot of people don't remember is Martrez Milner.
I remember Martrez,
yes,
yeah.
He went to
West
Hall,
yep.
And went through college, and I forget where he went to college at, but he ended up playing for the Atlanta Falcons for a while.
Yep.
Just not necessarily an individual game over the years, but just watching as going to the next level, so to speak. The guys just, really stand out. And there's several, even this year, that I've officiated that signed in the Hall County area. So
right.
it's combined effort, but there'll definitely be more throughout the summer.
Spoken like a true Georgia Tech fan. Martrez Milner, we know he went to Georgia, by the way, but anyway.
Selective memory, sorry.
There we go. And this is a discussion, like I said, folks, is going to continue throughout the summer, but we want to hear from you as well. So in the next coming weeks, again, be prepared to call in and share with us your favorite. It doesn't have to be a Highway 515 area. We know folks are from other areas. They've moved here. They have kids or grandkids maybe that played in other areas, but feel free to share those moments as we go down memory memory lane over the next couple months leading up to kickoff. Our number here is 706-889-9700, and our email, as always, is teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Feel free to share those moments. We'll have a lot more for you as we get set to a roll here. Let's switch gears and jump into our regional sports, and we don't have a whole lot of time on the show here today. My time flies when you're having fun, and so we're gonna kind of run through this stuff here at the tail end of the show. But I do want to mention the Atlanta United just keeps on rolling, folks. They have now went unbeaten in 8 straight contests. The latest was a 2-1 win Saturday night in Chicago against the Fire, and the Atlanta United with 2 goals. The debut goal from Ezekiel Barco, the teenage phenom who the Atlanta United went out and spent a lot of money on in the offseason. He scored his first goal as an Atlanta United player, and of course Josef Martinez also adding another one as well, a league high 7 goals now for Martinez. And again, that match on Saturday night begins a stretch of 3 consecutive, or 3 in an 8-day period for the United. They've got another one Wednesday night against Sporting KC, who's the number 1 team out of the Western Conference, and then on Sunday in Orlando with our rival. And they've really become a rival because Orlando City, they hate us, we hate them. So again, 8 days, you got 3 matches, and then after Sunday they won't play again until the following weekend. So playing good teams, playing meaningful games here early in the season, and looking forward to seeing what the Atlanta United could do. It's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about it. Those guys have been on a tear, and hopefully we can pick up another win on Wednesday and stay unbeaten. That the first match of the year was the only one so far they've lost, knock on wood, against the Dynamo of Houston, and that really was a wake-up call. Luther and I were talking before the show about that as well, and so he and I have gotten to be pretty good soccer fans here, no doubt about it. But Atlanta United on a tear, hopefully they can keep that rolling. That will lead us into our regional sports update, but we'll do that on the other side of this last break, and then we'll come back quickly to wrap up today's program. All that more right here on the Instant Replay. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. And welcome back to our 4th and final quarter segment of this week's program right here. It's called the Instant Replay, and we are live on Monday, May the 7th. And, of course, if you're watching on any other day, you're watching this as an encore replay. But nonetheless, still current and updated. We are all over it right here if it happens in North Georgia, and we appreciate you guys being on board with us. Once again, our phone number is 706-889-9700, and our email, if you have any information, pictures, scores, highlights, if we have not talked about your child or grandchild or sibling and you've got some information you'd like to share about them, please feel free to email us at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. All right, here we are for our 4th and final quarter abbreviated segment. We've only got a few minutes left here. We've had so much stuff going on here today. We had an interview, of course, with Coach Chad Cheatham, the new head football coach in Fannin County. We had a lot of player signings, which is always awesome. And, you know, if we don't have a lot of time to talk about the Braves or Falcons or anything else, so be it. That's not really our focus. Our focus is high school sports. So if we take up the whole show talking about local high school sports, then great. But we do have those little tidbits, those little nuggets we do like to throw out there occasionally because we know folks like to know how their Braves are doing or what have you. And speaking of the Atlanta Braves, we talked about the Atlanta United in the last segment. The Atlanta Braves have had quite a season so far in the early going. However, it was a little bit of a disappointing homecoming for the Braves, who were swept over the weekend by the Giants. But even despite being swept, they're still first place in the East Division. But again, you talk about the addition of Ronald Acuna. You talk about Jose Batista, of course, getting that guy basically out of retirement. We know how Ozzie Albies is playing. So a lot of great additions to this team that have played very well. And when you look at Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna, probably the top 1-2 duo in Major League Baseball right now. The Atlanta Braves as a team are still right at the top of all of the major leagues in offense. So we just got to tie down a couple of things, but I'm excited. Like I said last week, I'm excited about a Braves team for once. And it's been several years, I think, since anyone's really been able to truly say that. So the fact that we're excited about Braves baseball says a lot about where this team is at right now. And hopefully they can get it turned back around, though, after being swept. They had such a great, road stand. They did so well. They swept the Mets, destroyed those guys. Always good to beat the Mets. Anybody out in New York, I know BKP is a big Yankees fan, I guess. I don't know where that comes from, but but nonetheless, the Braves have looked good. So it's kind of disappointing for those guys to return home in first place and then to get swept in front of a big crowd. I believe they had 41,000 Saturday night. I believe that's the largest crowd at SunTrust Park since they opened the new stadium. So to get beat was kind of disappointing, but nonetheless, I think the Braves are certainly headed in the right direction. We talked about the Atlanta Falcons. Calvin Ridley, of course, last week in the draft was the Falcons' first-round pick. The big news out of Flyer Branch, obviously, is Matt Ryan's 5-year, $150 million deal, 100 guaranteed. And again, Matt Ryan has been the face of the franchise. Make no mistake. I know we talk about Julio. Some folks agree with it, some folks don't. But it'll be interesting to see where the Falcons go this year, and we're going to talk more about those guys as well over the coming weeks. NBA playoffs, Celtics, Cavs, and Warriors all with commanding leads in their respective series. The only series really at this point that's even a series is Houston and Utah. The Jazz and Rockets, I believe, are 2-1 right now in favor of the Rockets, but other than that, the other three in control, just one win away from wrapping things up. So by the time this show hits the airwaves, if you will, later in the week, we'll probably already know who's headed to the conference finals. NASCAR over the weekend, Kevin Harvick, a winner at Dover, his 4th of the season. Kyle Busch still leading the standings right now. We'll talk a little bit more about cup racing for you too as we transition. And we're getting into that point of year as we wrap up the show here today that the high school sports are falling off. I know there's, state track meets and things are wrapping up and so forth. We're getting into spring football practice, which kind of officially signals the end of the school year. And then right after that, it's graduation. And then we're into summer sports. We're going to be talking about youth camps. We're going to be talking about things going on around town. And it's going to be fun. It's a fun time of year to be able to focus on the little kids and some of the summer camps and things that are going on. And then we will also be able to touch on a little bit more of the regional and national things that are happening. But don't worry, folks. We're still going to keep it local, as always, right here on the Instant Replay. That's going to wrap things up for this week's show. Once again, I'm Dave Garner. I want to thank Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports and our producer, Amanda Evans, for being with us behind the glass here today, and all of our wardrobe talk. And I may have to borrow some polos from Luther and able to keep a new look going here.
Excuse me, Dave. Dave, excuse me. I don't know if my shirt would fit over those muscles you have.
I'm sure it would. No, it's not muscles here, all right? There's a reason why I sit at a desk at about this right here is because, I'm trying to cover up the added, the added weight. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, that's the reason for that. But I don't think we'd have a problem with the polo. I was going to say this, and then we'll get off the air. I think Luther, if you put we're going to do this next week. We're going to get a picture of Dan Quinn, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Luther could pass as his brother. There is a look about Luther, and we'll do it next week. But
we'll do the comparison.
We're going to do a side-by-side comparison on next week's show. Actually, I need to write that down here. Luther.
Write it down in our notes.
So that I won't forget it, Coach Quinn, because they got the shape, the bald head, the goatee. It just hit me.
Yeah,
we're going to do that next week right here on the program.
You're not the first to tell me that.
See, I'm sure I'm not.
We want to keep in our thoughts and prayers about the incident that happened at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yes, I don't have the driver's name currently in front of me, but there was a terrible accident at Atlanta Dragway this past weekend, and a veteran drag racer passed away in the accident.
Absolutely. So our thoughts and prayers again, indeed, with all of those in need of those prayer requests, and certainly that driver and his family. And we appreciate you guys being with us. That's going to wrap things up for this week's show. We'll see you next time right here on the Instant Replay on FYNTV.com. Have a great week.